The story that has never been successfully refuted, even though it's now a 5-year-old story, that's clearly a deportable offense. Is there an investigation into that?
You know, I just got advised by a fraud investigator the other day on that. I asked the question, who reviewed the file, and says that, there was immigration fraud involved. The statute of limitation became an issue in the last 4 years when this was first brought up.
Yeah, when I first heard that Ilhan Omar married her brother to get into the country, I kept hearing it, but I kept brushing it off. Kind of like Michelle Obama. You just keep brushing it off. Like, no, that can't be real. That can't be true. And next thing you know, Trump is saying it. And then you look back, Tucker was saying it. And it was the Daily Mail saying it. So all these things are now becoming more true than I could possibly have imagined. And it's getting pretty crazy in Minnesota. So, yeah, Tom Homan now saying they have begun looking into claims that Ilhan Omar committed immigration fraud coming into the country by marrying her brother. Let's actually take a listen to what Tom Homan, the huge announcement that he made here during a Newsmax interview about the failed system in Minnesota, about all of it, all that's going on. Tim Walz being at the center, being the guy who really is at fault here. Let's take a listen to this.
The Border Czar, Tom Homan, joins us tonight to talk about Minnesota as well as a number of other issues. And, sir, it's good to have you back on the show. Trump mentioning the Daily Mail reporting from 2020 that Ilhan Omar married her brother to get into the country. This was last week. Take a listen.
Look at their nation. Look how bad their nation is. It's not even a nation. It's just people walking around killing each other. They've taken billions and billions of dollars. They have a representative, Ilhan Omar, who they say married her brother. That's a fraud.
Calls that a fraud. It's a story that has never been successfully refuted, even though it's now a 5-year-old story. That's clearly a deportable offense. Is there an investigation into that?
You know, I just got advised by a fraud investigator the other day on that. I asked the question, who reviewed the file, and says that, there was immigration fraud involved. The statute of limitation became an issue in the last 4 years when this was first brought up. Who was president? Who ran DOJ? So pulling the records now, pulling the files, and we're looking at, but this fraud
Wait. He just made one of the best points. What he's saying, is he saying that it was brushed off because Biden was president? Is he saying that the reason why this all went away was because Biden was president? And now he has an opportunity because Trump is president to really look into all of it and actually be able to determine himself, being the border czar, that there was actually fraud. Now, this would be one of the this will be one of the wildest stories in American history. If to be true, if to be proven true, because a lot of people do believe it's true, that she married her brother to get into the country. That would be one of the biggest. Okay, let's continue. Let's continue.
Issue in the last 4 years when this was first brought up. Who was president? Who ran DOJ? So pulling the records now, pulling the files, and we're looking at. But this fraud investigator, who I know personally, one of the best fraud investigators in HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, said there's no doubt he reviewed the file. So I'm running that down this week, matter of fact, and we'll see.
It's tremendous that, I mean, and according to the Secretary, Kristi Noem of DHS, she said nearly 50% of the visas are fraudulent in this community. I mean, that would mean that half the Somali refugees are here in some way illegally. What's going to happen? Is something's
wow. If this is proven to be true, we have a huge fraud scandals happening in Minnesota. Now, we know that we need to uncover what's going on in California as well under Gavin Newsom. We know that there's some wild stuff happening over there. But 50% of the visas in Minnesota are fraudulent. Is this why we're seeing Ilhan Omar run over to CNN, run over to CBS, Face the Nation? Is this why we're seeing her now talk to the media, probably more than she has, to talk about this, try to run cover, show face? This is pretty crazy. And now Tom Homan is going into Minnesota to really investigate even more about her and Somalians there, the visas. Not only was there fraud committed, but now this is just getting much worse.
Actually going to happen? Are there going to be people stripped of their visas, deported? Are we going to see that?
Absolutely. I mean, those days are over. Thank God President Trump's in the White House. We're going to look at all of them. I mean, we're going to look at those here illegally, of course. We're going to look at those here under a visa or some sort of, immigration process that are criminals. We're going to look at the national security threats. But those who came through a process that weren't properly vetted, who didn't provide documentation, who slipped through the Biden's weak processes on, giving visas and temporary, whether student visas or visitors visas or whatever. We're going the whole gamut. President Trump has instructed us go down and we're going to deep dive all of this. And we're going to hold people accountable. So yes, there are going to be multiple deportations coming. Absolutely.
So that's big news coming again from Trump administration, border czar, Tom Homan, speaking here on Newsmax. And again, we look deep into it. This gets pretty crazy. Tom Homan looking into Ilhan Omar's immigration files over alleged fraudulent marriage to her brother. Trump administration border czar Tom Homan said in an interview Monday night on Newsmax that he was asked for the immigration records that he had asked. I don't know what that means. Little typo right there. To be pulled for review over allegations the Somali refugee married her brother to help gain residency in the United States. So that's what he's looking into. He's going to get those documents, and he's good. He's eligible to get that because now Trump is in office. President Donald Trump brought up the allegation against Omar while speaking to reporters in the Oval Office last week. Omar appeared on CBS, I told you guys, Face the Nation on Sunday, and was not asked about the allegation of immigration fraud. Homan spoke to Newsmax, of course, Rob Schmidt, who asked about Trump's comments and if there was going to be an investigation, and there is going to be an investigation. So again, this is where it gets pretty crazy. Let's actually go deeper. Ilhan Omar married her brother and committed immigration fraud in our country. Last night on Lower Loomer, here's what Tom Homan said.
Now that Republicans are back in control, can we expect to see some type of immigration investigation into Congresswoman Ilhan Omar? There was a report, this was a story I broke, and it's since been confirmed that she married her brother and committed immigration fraud. Can you speak to whether or not there's any investigations into Congresswoman Omar's immigration fraud via the marriage to her brother? And whether or not her citizenship could potentially be revoked if you guys also find that she did in fact commit immigration fraud and student loan fraud?
I can't discuss any investigation.
Okay. All right. Well, I figured I would just ask because a lot of people always wonder why we have jihadists serving in Congress, why we have anti-American immigrants serving in Congress who are, perpetuating this open borders mentality.
We're aware of that situation, but I can't discuss it.
Oh, so you are aware of it. Okay, great.
So he's aware of it, obviously. And now he is speaking more openly about the fact that they're going to be investigating. So that was last June. So once you look at the change last June till now in December, he now can talk about the immigration investigation. So look at how that changes. Look at all of that. Look, he went from he can't talk about it to now he can talk about it. You know who's been talking about it, though? We got 5 years ago. And again, this is just so wild to me. Like, I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I'm not going to sit here and say it's true. I don't want to get banned off YouTube. But, bro, people are talking about it as if it's true. And it's starting to make me a believer. So 5 years ago, Tucker Carlson exposed Ilhan Omar's marriage to her brother. So this is something that's been ongoing. And it went away during Biden's administration. But if you listen to Tucker, he's been talking about this when he was on Fox.
So it's been known for quite a while that Ilhan Omar apparently married her own brother to help him gain entry illegally into the country. That's a violation of immigration law. That actually happened, it turns out. And now we're learning the FBI had evidence to confirm it, but didn't do anything about it. Miranda Devine is an actual journalist. She works at the New York Post, where she writes a column. She joins us tonight to explain what exactly happened. Miranda, thanks so much for coming on.
Pleasure, Tucker. Well, some basically Republican operatives up in Minnesota decided to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on private investigators to really find out if Ilhan Omar was a genetic match, the DNA match to the man who was her second husband. They went to 3 continents. They found a cigarette butt and a drinking straw, which they decided, they sent it to a DNA laboratory and found conclusively that the DNA matched, that the second husband was a sibling, according to this DNA sample. So the very day that they were going to unleash this on the world, and in fact I was interviewing one of the people involved, the FBI swooped on the gentleman, Anton Lazaro, from this Republican PAC up in Minnesota, and arrested him on some different charges. Who knows whether he's guilty or not guilty? I mean, he's not guilty until proven, but he's in jail. And so his story never got to see the light of day. I mean, luckily he'd told the FBI they were not interested. They told him the statute of limitations had run out. We managed to see the website before he took it down, before he was arrested, and managed to report the story such as it was.
I wonder, just kind of spitballing here, what will be more shocking to her fellow liberals? The fact that Ilhan Omar had an incestuous marriage to her own brother, or that she smoked cigarettes? Which will they be more stunned by?
Definitely the latter, and they've got photographs of her smoking the cigarette, so I don't think that's at all in doubt.
I've never seen this video. I think I've seen like probably 10 seconds. I've never seen this specific video. So it looks like Tucker was doing a whole full-blown investigation, and that's what they found. Yo, this is woo, bro. Wow. I had to take off my glasses like 3 times that is wild. That is wild. The investigation that they did is wild. And they found stuff, like they found DNA. So this is not new, ladies and gentlemen. And if Tom Homan does what he said he's going to do, has all the documents, what could come out is more damning than it's going to cause panic. Oh, the liberals, progressives are going to be panicking like never before. I will keep you guys updated on this story. We've been updating you guys on what's been going on in Minnesota. I've been trying to do my best reporting on all of this. But this one right here is this probably like the craziest video I've seen. And this video is old. So this is is it more real than a lot of people realize it to be? Because if it is real and it's proven to be real, then this is going to cause mayhem. And I mean mayhem in the Democratic Party, ladies and gentlemen.